All right, here we go. And both of our racers are picking Link's house and gonna go walk to the uncle, just like he said.
Yep, gonna see if he has anything worthwhile today. So far, only 5, well, I guess 6 rupees.
So some things you're going to notice, actually both of our racers now, they picked up a sign, so that way they can instantly kill the enemies here. You're going to see some extra farming, which is not something you usually get in standard seeds. They're going to kill an enemy there so they can pull this tree, see what's in there. In this case, hearts. They're going to kill some extra enemies, hoping for some bomb drops or maybe some rupees. Information is good. You want to know what the trees can give you, what the bush crabs can give you. What enemies drops, because you want bombs, you want rupees.
Yeah, definitely. You might be stuck without a sword for quite a while, so bombs might be your only easily accessible weapon for, well, nobody really knows.
Now, I think Space Cowboy might be setting this up. The way tree pulls work, you can do just one pull. Kill one enemy, 1 to 3 enemies actually, and then pull the tree. You'll get 1 prize pack. Or you can kill 4 enemies, and that gives you 2 different prize packs, depending on if you've taken damage or you haven't taken damage. Also, it saves between save and quit, so you can kill enemies, save and quit, and it still remembers that number. What SlimKirby and Space Cowboy right now are doing, though, there's 2 bushes in the middle there that can potentially have bombs. Or is it 4? Oh, yeah, 2 bushes. They could drop bombs. You have like a 50% chance that a bush has a bomb in it. And so they're going to farm some bombs here so they don't have to purchase any, since they didn't really get any rupees by Uncle.
Yeah, and I think 2 is a good number. You can use 1 to bomb open the little hut in the very bottom left of Kakariko, and there's guaranteed 4 bombs under the pot in there.
Wow, so we got a hammer sitting at the dig game. That's really nice early on.
Yeah, that's perfect for them. That's also their first weapon. Does temper damage to everything they hit. Pretty good thing to find early on, I'd say.
Man, there goes my dream of hammer at Fat Fairy. I mean, this is pretty much there's a very slim chance this is even going to be an Aghanim seed at this point. You're going to have something at the logging hut, whatever, the tree there, or Moon Pearl going to be sitting in that pyramid. Like, that's really it. So
yeah,
it might be a nice fast seed.
The hammer is just so integral to everything.
Even if you don't have to do something like kill Aghanim, there's so many things that are blocked by hammer.
Yeah, it's crazy. Hammer is probably one of the most useful items to find in Link to the Past, I'd say.
Oh, our races were almost in sync for a little bit there.
Yeah, they're not far apart. Oh, in the first map check, I caught a Crystal 6 at Desert and a Pendant at Eastern. Alright, looks like both our runners are opting to farm the bombs here in that little hut I was talking about.
You say a Pendant at Eastern, a Crystal... Where else?
Crystal 5 or 6, I don't remember, one of the 2 at Desert, and I didn't quite catch Tower of Hera.
Alright, I'm not sure if we have a tracker, so... I'm gonna work on the tracker while I watch. So, chat, call it out as you see it. We'll be on top of that.
Oh, we can split that up if you want to.
Sure, it looks like they just picked up power gloves in the chicken hut. So they have gloves, they have hammer, which I should mark. That actually means once they get Moon Pearl, they have access to the Dark World.
Yeah, this is really good for them.
Usually you can easily get enough rupees to buy from the bottle vendor, just based on the chests and the drops, and there's a few pots you can pick up for some blue rupees.
So it looks like the well was pretty loaded. Oh, and there's the first sword.
Nice. It's not a bad haul. I mean, you got hammer, you got gloves, you got a sword.
Yeah,
That's some
pretty
nice,
well.
nice progression for town. And of course, since they entered from the southern side of town, they're going to head north into the woods here. There's a couple of items here. Maybe they'll also see what's behind Aghanim's tree.
Yeah,
There's
sure.
a bottle.
Oh, that's a little bit unfortunate. Now they'll have to make the decision of going back into Kakariko to check the kid right away, or maybe saving it for later on.
That's definitely one of the downsides, just with the way they both ended up routing this. Having that bottle after they were through town.
Yeah, man, they were just in sync again like crazy.
Alright, Cowboy gets his bottle. And it looks like SlimKirby is setting up a tree pull.
Yep.
Oh, interesting. He's not gonna check. Okay, there he goes. He just wanted to see the bush crab first.
And I think it was just a red rupee.
Well, don't think Aghanim is on the table for this seed at all. Unless Moon Pearl's sitting at Pyramid. So until we see Moon Pearl, there's always a chance. The moment they get Moon Pearl, Aghanim's off the table.
Yeah, with what they have right now, definitely.
Now, one of the best things you can do with Glove is go visit Escape, which is what Space Cowboy's doing right now.
And an interesting choice from SlimKirby here, deciding to do Death Mountain for now.
And he can't actually do much unless he lucks out and gets a mirror or hook shot up here. Now, you can see he's doing it in the dark here. He's holding out his sword. Sword is a nice thing to use to get through the dark rooms because it gives you a frame of reference. But as I mentioned, you can only visit Spectacle Rock and the Old Man unless they happen to give you something else to progress up the mountain. Like a lot of rupees.
That's nice to have, but that's not going to get him very far.
Oh, he just unlocked the warp. He didn't even check Spectacle Rock.
Yeah, okay, that's not too much of a time waster, and you got a new, very good save and quit spot.
Yeah, it's really not a time loss. So yeah, Zora actually is in the logic for progression at this point. You only need flippers or glove to go visit him, and we have a glove.
Yeah, they can definitely get up there. It's very out of the way, and it's going to be very slow, but you can get to Zora without having the flippers, obviously.
That's where vanilla flippers are. We could see that. You know, anytime there's a vanilla item, I feel like that's actually trolly.
It is. I think vanilla items are probably one of the more trolly items, or even just items in their vanilla dungeons. If it's even in the same vanilla chest than it is in vanilla, then that's like super especially trolly.
Yeah. Apparently SlimKirby missed the Sanctuary chest. I didn't see. So we'll have to check next time he saves and quits the Sanctuary. I hope he got it. Usually you get it like really early on.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if he missed it, but he might have just left it there for some reason.
Oh, we have a lantern on Space Cowboy side, so that means when SlimKirby walked up to Death Mountain, like now that's part of the logic. Like you can go that way and to the old man. That also means there could be something up at Spectacle Rock for progression.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have to see. I mean, they still got a few options left. They can still check Sasrala and maybe dip into Eastern early on, despite it being a pendant dungeon. But then I guess Agina's cave is also still left.
Yeah, that's a hard one. Like it's always open from the very beginning, and yet it's really hard to route over there when you don't have book or a way to enter the desert.
We get a second red goo out of Ice Rock Cave.
I'm waiting for the B bottle. There's got to be at least one. Alright, so far, runner's pretty much going the same route. Looks like Space Cowboy's going to finish up Escape. He's going to do the front part. He can actually reach all of the chests. They've already visited the back of Escape. So there's 4 more chests. We already saw a small key, so that means there's still a map somewhere. So of the 4 chests that are here, one of them has a map. And ideally, it's the one in the dark room, so you don't even have to go there.
Yeah, that will be the most beneficial for them, I suppose. We'll see if they're that lucky.
That's funny. When Kirby picks up an item, he also has his umbrella. I like that. I don't know. Whatever was in Sank chests, it wasn't important. It wasn't any progression.
Yeah, I think it was just a hard piece or something.
So it looks like Space Cowboy's setting up a bit of a death warp.
Yep, both our runners also having the same idea in their routing choices here. SlimKirby now making his way down the rescue part of Escape. Oh, he's going to the back first.
So we did see a map. It was in that boomerang chest. There was a map. So there is an item where SlimKirby's heading now.
Gonna be interesting to see.
So given the items they currently have, really it's just we haven't seen Spectacle Rock, so there's an item there. We have Eastern, always a good location to check. There's like 5 to 6 items you can get if we also include the back of Sahasrala's. Sahasrala's closet, if you will. Oh no! SlimKirby got a health refill!
No.
He set up a death warp and everything.
A trolley hard piece.
So Space Cowboy was able to death warp since he didn't get a health refill. But he's gonna just check the back and get his piece of heart.
Yeah, Escape not really paying out. Just some rupees, a map, and a piece of art. And I'm sure SlimKirby wishes he wouldn't have picked up that piece of art.
Was it a piece of heart or was it Sank heart? I just saw that he got a health refill.
I believe it was a piece of heart.
So yeah, we have Eastern, we have Zora, as I mentioned earlier, Agina's Cave, and Death Mountain. Those are the things that are open to them right now. And you can see how restricted they are until they get Moon Pearl. Once Moon Pearl is there, they have like pretty much all of Dark World that they can get to except for Death Mountain.
Yeah, Moon Pearl will open up a ton of stuff for them. I think the worst thing they could find right now is a cape or a Master Sword.
Oh, Cape would be instant because they have a sword.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, you're right. Master Sword's also the same thing, but I think Cape's the worst because you don't have anyway. Given their items here, the only thing you have is Hammer to help you kill enemies there.
Yeah, it would definitely be a lot of hammering in Aga Tower, I'm sure. But while SlimKirby is making his way down to Zelda Cell, Space Cowboy is making his way up to Death Mountain, and he might check Spectacle Rock and everything he can reach right now.
Checking on top of Spectacle Rock is also good. It's good to know if you want to go back and get that item at some point. I know I've seen Bo sitting up there before.
Yeah, there's a couple of spots like that.
So of course, SlimKirby doesn't have the Death Warp here since he already finished. That's the last item to get an escape. So let's see where he decides to go. Oh, okay, there he goes checking Sank. Maybe he decided to save it when he knew it would actually be an item.
Yeah, apparently.
Nothing on Spectacle Rock or inside.
Well, looks like SlimKirby's making maybe the right decision then, heading towards Eastern and Sahasrara.
It definitely has the most items for where they're going.
Yeah, that is true.
The rest are really far out of the way. Looks like there was a crystal on top of Hera, so that's the last piece of information we needed.
Okay, 2 Dark World Pendant Dungeons. That could be good for our runners.
Could be, until they have to go there for progression.
Yeah, very true.
Well, Space Cowboy's taking a look at his bottle since they got it after they were in the village.
Oh yeah, I completely forgot about Sick Kid.
And it's a sword, a master sword.
Oh no.
Oh, this is the tough call. Space Cowboy has some good knowledge right now. Master Sword, Lantern, that means you can go kill Aghanim. They might have to do that because Moon Pearl's sitting on Pyramid or whatever progression item leads to Moon Pearl. Now, SlimKirby doesn't have to worry about the decision yet, but if he doesn't find anything here, he's really gonna have like very few chances or places that he can check. This might be an Aghanim seed, still.
Yeah, it definitely could be. It's a hard decision for Space Cowboy to make right now because you really want to avoid doing Aga 1 if it turns out you don't have to do him. But checking every spot that's available to you, especially out of the way places like this, it's costly too.
It's a hard call. Both of our runners are making different decisions, so we'll see who's right. So SlimKirby is in Eastern. There's a total of 3 items that can be acquired here. One of them could be at Armos, so you need Bo to get it, but it really depends on where the map and compass are, and they already got the compass. There's the Moon Pearl. The Aghanim Troll. So that means no Aghanim. We got a Moon Pearl. SlimKirby, whenever he's ready, he can actually go into the Dark World. We'll have to see when he decides to get his Master Sword. Without Mirror, it could be a while, or he could go there first and then go to Dark World. We'll have to see what he does.
Yeah, it could be a while before he goes back to check the Sick Kid. I think Space Cowboy is going to be in a little bit better shape, not by much, obviously, but Master Sword, not only for the extra damage, but also for the extra length that it gives you.
So Space Cowboy skipped checking Sahasrara's closet and decided to go right here. That's interesting.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I'm assuming he's gonna check it after he's done, but without the mirror, he'll probably save and quit out of here.
Yeah.
Alright, I think this chest here for SlimKirby needs to be the big key. I don't think he's found that yet.
He's clearing the room. Again, instead of the normal quick method for doing this is you get hit by one of those blue tentacle thing. I don't even know what it's called, but you get hit by it, and that lets you touch the button in the middle of the anti-fairies.
Yep. Alright, so that is it for the items in Eastern, at least the ones that they can get to right now.
Alright, so SlimKirby taking his hammer and gloves with his shiny new Moon Pearl, and he's gonna do Hype Cave first.
Yeah, not a bad choice. It's sadly not been too hype lately for the most part, but sometimes.
Green pendant at Mire, red pendant at Turtle Rock. So the two last dungeons where you need a medallion are also our pendant dungeons.
So potentially, if they're super lucky and didn't get a version 26 seed, they could maybe not need any medallions and also not need the Cane of Samaria, depending on where the big key is, of course, in Turtle Rock, in Ganon's Tower.
And there's the cape for SlimKirby.
And did he just pick up? Did he just pick up his third bottle with the red goo in it?
Maybe.
I think that's what happened, right?
So much red goo. So much red goo. Ragu.
Everywhere.
Alright, so Space Cowboy's done. He, of course, also got the Moon Pearl. He might also be going to Hype Cave.
Yeah, I think it's a good spot to start out in the Dark World when you have the hammer and the Power Glove. Of course, you can still get to the portal in or above Kakariko, but you have to walk all the way around without Titan's Mitts.
It's a nice location to quickly check some items until you get some more progression in the future. So we'll see if we get that shovel game reward.
Fingers crossed.
I mean, at least one of us has to be right, and our guess is right with the whole commentary curse.
Nah, I don't know if it works like that. Oh man, that's a lot of digs.
When SlimKirby missed his split, I saw his timer just go red.
It's going red in anger, of course.
Crystal 5 is Thieves. And then the rest, of course, are just normal crystals. Yep. So, we care about crystals 5 and 6 because those unlock the Fat Fairy, which is, you have to get a big bomb from the location at Link's house in the Dark World to open up the pyramid and visit the Fat Fairy, which has 2 items. Alright, we get a little divergence here. Space Cowboy is checking to see what's on Pyramid.
Yeah, I guess since he barely dodged that Aga 1 kill, he wants to find out now if it actually would have been not that much of a mistake to do it.
Slim did, unfortunately, miss going to the second. There's a mirror on Pyramid. That's really good to have early.
Yeah, that is a very good find.
So Mirror unlocks quite a bit at this stage of the game. Since they have Hammer, that actually means all of Light World Death Mountain is unlocked for them. And looks like Space Cowboy is also going to visit the Catfish while he's over here.
Yeah, he might combine this with the Zora visit. He does not have the flippers yet, but he can, as we said earlier, walk up to Zora if he wants to.
And he can also just see what's on the ledge there in Zora's domain in case flippers are needed in the future.
Exactly. I mean, he'll probably need them for Swamp Palace anyways, but it's still good, as you said earlier in the seed. Information is probably the second most important thing to have in Rando.
So Space Cowboy did equip his mirror, so we might see him go visit Zora, as we were just talking about. SlimKirby, of course, is in one of the most popular locations in V26, Skull Woods. Only 2 items that you can get here, however, it seems to just be a focus point for the program to, the algorithm to drop items in. It's just the way the logic determines the dungeon locations.
Yeah, the meme is, or the rumor is, that Skull Woods is always holding. We'll see if it stays true. And
well, there's flippers.
It seems to be true for now.
That's a progression item.
Yep, definitely an item they'll want to have. So this maybe makes Space Cowboy's trip up to Zora here at least a little less efficient.
Zora gives him a hefty refund on his 500 rupee.
Yeah, that's at least not the worst life lesson you could get from Zora.
You do want to make sure you have some rupees in case you have to go to pod, which our racers will have to do eventually. And if you want to buy potions.
There's still a little bit of spending left for them. They have to pay Kiki, which is at least 110 bucks. They have to pay the chest game guy, which is 30 rupees. The blacksmiths, unbeknownst to many people, also take 10 rupees from you before they give you whatever they're forging.
The crystal numbers don't tell us anything about progression. The only importance for the crystal numbers is knowing which crystals are 5 and 6. Essentially, the game took all 7 crystals and randomized them into different dungeons, and that's the number that you see. So Crystal 7 is Zelda's crystal. We just, since we don't see any cutscenes, we don't get to see Zelda.
Yeah, we never officially find out which crystal we're picking up, I guess.
You can always check your inventory. You can just open it up, and it fills it in left to right, 1 through 7.
Yeah, you definitely find out the number. I guess you don't really, unless you know by heart which maiden is which number, which I certainly don't.
But yeah, it's important to know which crystals are 5 and 6 because of the Fat Fairy.
Now we're getting a bumper check cave here from SlimKirby.
Oh! Look at that! Look at that! That's important. They have the cape.
That is super important, and with the cape, they can get it too, so... This is another one of those places, as you were mentioning earlier, with Spectacle Rock on top of it. You want to have that information if anything is hiding here or not. Obviously, with the cape in hand, it's a much more attractive spot for them. But even if SlimKirby didn't have the cape, I think he would have checked this location just to have that information.
Yeah, and knowing that it's the Titans, then that way you can look out for the cape. As soon as you get it, come right here, get that mostly important item. That very important item, I should say. Wow, yeah, so SlimKirby getting a lot of worth in his route here.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, with the mids now, he is basically pretty much everything open to him, save for a couple of hookshot spots, maybe.
They need the flute to go visit Meyer if they want to view it, but since it's a pendant dungeon, they might not need it.
Yeah, I assume they'll at least check the area around it if they do run into the flute, since it's also an easy entrance into desert and the ledge item.
if Space Cowboy heads over to check that ledge after he's done here, he's going to be in pretty good shape because he has that mirror. SlimKirby still has to go get that mirror, which is on Pyramid. It might be a while before he goes over there. He might be waiting till he gets Bow so he can go do Pod and also check Pyramid on the way. So that is a key item Space Cowboy has over SlimKirby.
Yeah, that mirror is really important for them. And as you say, it might be a little while before SlimKirby even gets the idea of checking it, especially if more and more places keep opening up for him with the item that he's with the items that he's finding.
Alright, SlimKirby is heading into Thieves. It's one of our crystal dungeons. There are 4 items that he can get here, and since he has Hammer, he can access every single chest here. So he can full clear it.
Personally, I think it's a good decision to go in here, definitely for all the reasons that you just said, and he can full clear it. But I'd be pretty scared with just green mail and the fighter sword and 3.5 hearts right now.
Yeah, he's really going to have to hope for a fairy. They don't have magic powder, so he can't make any fairies. He's just going to have to hope to find that or a health refill of some kind. Space Cowboy spotting his gold gloves. He's going to go get them.
Very good. So he's pretty much catching up here. Might even be pulling ahead a little bit just because of that Master Sword. Does give you a little bit of a damage boost.
Yeah, you can see that it looks like SlimKirby might be a little more ahead, but Space Cowboy has more items. Just keep in mind, SlimKirby's eventually going to have to go to Pyramid to get that mirror. And depending on how he routes it in, Space Cowboy might be in better shape because of that. If you guys want to talk pedestal seeds, given where the pendants are, it actually restricts quite a lot. Like, we are not going to see Flute, we're not going to see Bow, we're not going to see Fire Rod, we're not going to see Kane.
Yeah, there's probably not a medallion on there, and if it is, it's not one that they need.
So it's boots, if boots are needed, book, if you need that to enter desert. Like, really, those are like the 2 I can think of. And hookshot. So
yeah.
the way we determine as we look to see what dungeons happen to be pendants, which are Eastern, Mire, and Turtle Rock, and we know which items we need to be able to beat those dungeons. That tells us they cannot be at the pedestal. Oh, nice. Oh, he had to use his red goo. That's okay. Crickets are no joke. They do 2 hearts of damage with Green Tunic.
Yeah, I hate those guys.
They're so, and with Fighter Sword, like, even with Master Sword, they take a lot of hits. Like, look at Fighter Sword here. Barely does any damage to crickets. They are a ridiculous enemy, and they're tiny.
And their movement can be so erratic that sometimes you can't even help but take damage from them.
Alright, so Space Cowboy, he did a little more walking over in the Dark World. But he's finally heading back to the Village of Outcasts. We'll probably also see a Thieves' Town dive at this point. It'll be a little easier for him with that Master Sword.
Yeah, he might also opt to maybe do the Blacksmith beforehand, since he has that mirror and the Titan Smiths now. Can
That's
also check
true.
the Hammer Packs.
No, he bombed the floor, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he did. He must have, right?
I think he thought that he might have skipped it. And I guess it's better to check early in case you did forget. You don't want to go all the way downstairs, take Blind up to his room, and then, whoops, there's no light there.
Yeah.
Ooh, 2 hearts.
Boy. There's a couple of hearts to find here, but...
I mean, he has a cape, but he doesn't have much in the way of magic. He might have to use that other red goo. This is the main tournament. Both of our racers are currently sitting at 0 and 3, so they need a win if they want to continue.
Yeah, both of our runners here are definitely looking for their win.
I haven't really seen anything in Thieves. It's been mostly a dud. It's a crystal dungeon. They have to do it anyway.
Yeah, but it really hasn't paid out at all.
Oh, I think he's looking for some hearts.
Yeah, I don't blame him. I think he already picked the one up before the blind boss fight here. Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Alright, so 6 hearts for a fire sword blind. It's definitely not impossible, but it's not an easy feat.
I mean, he mostly follows the same pattern, so if you stand in the same position, blind will always fire the same way. Of course, him dashing across the room, that's random. But otherwise, you can sort of control where blind goes.
Oh boy.
Ooh. Oh no. Oh no.
Oh, this is bad.
Is he doing it? Okay, safety strat. So, running into the head will do 2 hearts of damage. The fireballs always do 1 heart of damage, regardless of your tunic, I think.
Yeah, I believe so. Alright, just a piece of heart. That's really not anything good here.
SlimKirby's going to be missing those safeties later, though. It could be dangerous. I don't think he finished clearing Village of Outcasts, though. He's going right to the hammer peg spot.
Yeah, I guess he's saving the blacksmith for when he has a mirror, or maybe just after this.
It's a shame he doesn't have boots, so he can't do the quick dash here.
Yep, no item dashing for our runners just yet.
Oh, just bombs.
Oh, okay, he remembers. Good.
He probably thought he already cleared the other 2 locations here, so he's ready to do a save and quit. No? I lied. He's gonna do dwarves?
I think he cleared out Thieves Town, Village of Outcasts before he entered Thieves Town, didn't he?
I'm not sure. I know Space Cowboy did. I don't know. We'll find out. Oh, the dwarf is going to go for a world tour at this point. It looks like SlimKirby's going to check his flipper spots first.
Yep, gonna wash the dwarf up. He's been stuck in the dark world for a long time. Can't really blame him.
Oh man, look at this Kirby sprite swimming. This is great. I think the only downside of using the Kirby sprite is that he's shorter. So when it comes like to setting up where you can hit enemies, or setting up your bomb jumps, it's just like really weird because he's short. But it's a neat sprite.
Yeah, the problem is it also, on top of being short, it also messes with the standard shadow. So if you use that to line anything up for bomb jumps or anything, you're gonna have a little bit of trouble.
Someone in chat just pointed out, yes, look at the dwarf walking through the water. So the hobo has a master sword just sitting in his pocket.
Interesting. So that's the 3rd sword we're seeing this seed. I mean, tempered at the very least is available to both runners.
Oh, Space Cowboy, nice. down to 2 hearts, and he just went for it. No safeties. So nothing in the Waterfall Fairy. That's a chest that Space Cowboy missed because he didn't have flippers at the time, so he couldn't go there. We'll have to see if he routes back, but as of right now, he could actually potentially skip it because there's no progression there.
Yeah, I think so far he has no real reason to go back, but we'll see if he decides to. We also saw the blue mail on the Zora ledge. It'll be interesting to see if SlimKirby takes the time to pick it up. I think he will.
I mean, he's sitting at 9 hearts. I think it's a good safety item to have. Space Cowboy did visit Zora, but he didn't have flippers at the time, so he wasn't able to get anything else. Looks like SlimKirby is going to go pick up his blue tunic.
Yep, and Space Cowboy has to get his 30 digs in, the maximum amount we can get here.
I think it's, what, bombs or something? Or, yeah, a piece of heart, okay. The blue Kirby.
Yeah, very bright blue.
So, yeah, SlimKirby took the dwarf for a swim there. Space Cowboy, meanwhile, is probably going to beat him to it. Oh, no, he might do the hammer pegs first.
Yeah, but still kind of funny to see.
Oh, SlimKirby's going to get his tempered. Because he didn't visit the sick kid yet, of course.
Oh, very nice. So, first tempered sword here for one of our runners.
Is he throwing a bomb at the sick kid?
Oh, come on.
Oh!
Alright, so that might actually lead SlimKirby to his mirror.
The Dwarven Fletchers. That's a nice item to find early. So with bow, and they already have hammer, that actually means they can complete both Palace of Darkness, and they can finish off Eastern if there was an item there. I forget the item count. But they can choose to kill Armos at this point.
Yeah, and as I said, I think this will lead SlimKirby to the pyramid, hopefully.
Yeah, that's definitely in his favor since he missed out on that mirror there. I think he's going to go for it. He's going to take the portal and walk over to Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, that looks like exactly where he's going. I mean, it's a really good choice right now. He has everything to fully complete it. With the mirror, he could check some stuff in Swamp if he wanted to, but you probably want to save that until you find the hook shot.
And there's Silvers.
Right after they get their bow.
Well, for Space Cowboy, SlimKirby, it might be a while before he even goes to that spot. He might not even need to.
Yeah, he might skip out on it depending on how quickly they find the rest of their items.
We'll have to see if this purple chest gives Space Cowboy anything. Because that could make a difference. If it's a progression item, then we'll probably see SlimKirby do something similar in the future.
And
I mean, he'd have to.
He decides not to check the pyramid before Pod, so that's not a good sign.
The Fat Fairy Crystal's desert, which means they're going to need either flute or book to get there. And of course, SlimKirby needs to also pick up his mirror first. So I was just thinking the only not out of the way time to go to Pyramid is when you're visiting the Fat Fairy. If he decided not to do it on the way to Pod.
Yeah, that's very true. I hope he remembers to check it or decides to check it sooner rather than later. I mean, depending on what he finds in here, as long as he can make steady progress and continue to clear out dungeons, it's not going to be so bad, but he'll need it for Swamp at the very least.
So we're seeing another route diversions here. SlimKirby's making use of that bow he just picked up. He's going to go complete pod here. And Space Cowboy wants to visit Death Mountain, since, as I mentioned earlier, he can visit all of Light World Death Mountain. And since he has Titan's Mitts, he can get the Super Bunny chests over on the Dark World Death Mountain.
It's very true. He can also check into Tower of Hera, which is also a crystal.
Crystal dungeons are always good. There's 2 items he could potentially get here. Well, definitely get here, because he has everything to full clear.
They still do not have a fire source, so... Oh, there's the first item.
Well, no, they have a lamp, so they're okay.
Oh yeah, of course they have the lamp. Duh. I was just staring at that unlit fire rod on the tracker, completely missing out on the lamp.
And they will have to get that at some point because they have to beat Skullwoods. I think right now both of our runners are actually making very good calls. You want to go into dungeons as soon as possible at V26. Is when you can full clear that dungeon. Especially. They're both in dungeons, and when Space Cowboy is done here, he's going to visit all of Death Mountain, which has a lot of items.
Yeah, I really like both the decisions that we're seeing here. Unfortunately, Tower of Hera has absolutely nothing of value, but it will be a crystal in the end. And as you say, he still has a lot more potential items left here on Death Mountain. Pod, also a very good play, especially considering SlimKirby still has no idea where that mirror is.
Yeah, I think that the biggest help for Space Cowboy is that he has mirror. Unfortunately, he gets knocked into the center hole from Moldorm, which knocks you down 2 floors.
Oh, that's annoying.
SlimKirby's doing pod here mirrorless, which is a little bit of a pain. It's nice to have mirror to quickly get around.
Yeah, you either have to set up a death warp or walk all the way back through that dark maze, and it's just annoying either way.
Alright, there goes Moldorm for Space Cowboy. He picks up another crystal. SlimKirby just got mostly keys so far, but he did get the big key, so I think he's ready to get items at this point.
Yeah, at this point, it's gotta be items from here on out. If it's any good items, we don't know, but it's gotta be some items.
Oh. Is he...
Did he forget a chest over there?
He didn't forget. He might have been, since he doesn't have mirror, he's trying to think about when he's going to do this. Maybe he'll do a death warp later. There's the boot!
Oh.
That's a great find.
That's very good for them. And they're probably also happy about finding that before the dark maze. I mean, they don't really save too much time in there, since there's not a lot of dashing you can do.
Alright, we're gonna see right away what Turtle Rock is. On the off chance they have to visit here later. It's Quake, vanilla.
Okay, that's good information to have, just in case you do have to come back here. And now you also know which medallion will kind of lead you here, I guess.
So Space Cowboy is missing out on the boots, which means he can't even visit Hookshot Cave. There's one chest you can get by bonking over to it. Otherwise, you need Hookshot. But he gets the Fire Rod.
That's a really good find, too.
Oh, man. Both of our runners getting some good progression. Fire Rod lets them... There's one more item in Skullwood, so it lets them beat Skullwoods, get that last item. And of course... It also gives them entry into Ice Pals because they have Flippers and Fire Rod. So that's 2 dungeons Space Cowboy could go do after this.
Yeah, he's definitely in good shape so far.
It's actually a shame. It's funny how Space Cowboy for most of it had that sword advantage, but now he has just Master Sword, but SlimKirby has the Tempered. So hopefully Space Cowboy will go visit the hobo at some point.
Yeah, I'm sure it's on his mind, as well as the Waterfall Fairy. Even though she had nothing, it's definitely still in the back of his head. It'll probably really come down to where he finds the other progression items. Once he gets stuck and doesn't have any dungeons left to visit, or at least none that he can full clear.
So, speaking of progression items, they only need Hookshot and either Book or Flute at this point. That's the Book or Flute is to enter Desert.
Mm-hmm.
So, we are 2 items away from us knowing collectively, our collective go mode, I should say. Our runners still have a bit to go, because Space Cowboy is gonna have to go get his boots over here in Pod. Slim Cowboy has to go get his mirror and fire rod.
Yep, but we're inching closer and closer to the hive mind go mode, I guess.
Yeah, actually, I should say it's potential go mode, because as someone pointed out in chat, if the big key's on the right-hand side in Ganon's Tower, you also need the cane.
Yeah, that's true.
Alright, so let's see where Space Cowboy decides to take his newfound wealth. A fire rod. Only 4 slices to kill King Helmsar. Not too bad. So SlimKirby picks up his second crystal.
Yep, and it looks like Space Cowboy wants to finish out Skull Woods here.
It's the meme location. I already gave them flippers. So let's see if there's another progression item locked away here. It's a quick dungeon to beat too, and you've already done half the you've checked half the things.
Yeah, it's definitely not a bad choice at all. It looks like SlimKirby left some stuff here in the beginning of Pod, which he's now checking.
Oh, just some arrows.
Yeah, that wasn't really worth it, but better than leaving an item behind and then wondering.
So SlimKirby does have access to 2 new locations with his boots. He's going over to King's Tomb right now. He'll probably do Flanktuary after this. The bug net. No, isn't it? It makes more sense for Kirby to have that like kiss for the health, because doesn't he do that in co-op mode where you want to share a tomato or something?
Oh yeah, I think it's something like that. I'm not really too well versed in the Kirby universe, I have to admit.
Oh my gosh, we have a hook shot.
That is huge.
And he's going right to Death Mountain because... So he was missing Mirror, so he couldn't actually do Death Mountain. But now that he has Hookshot, he could actually clear it. And he can check a few more locations that Space Cowboy missed because he has that Hookshot.
Yeah, everything is open to him now. That's a really good find for him. Unfortunately, might also lead him away from the mirror for another little bit. But since it's not really locking anything up, and he has potential to do a few dungeons, it's not too great of a deal yet.
So we are one item away from our collective go mode. Either book or flute. We'll have to see. Honestly, I'm hoping for something like Quake, because that means I have to go get Kane and go visit Turtle Rock. I mean, it could happen.
You're mean.
This has been a nice seed so far, overall. Like, we need some trolls.
I think they're coming.
I think Pyramid Mirror is like the closest thing we have to a troll at this point.
Yeah, so far it's been pretty nice to them, I'll admit that.
Space Cowboy picks up a shovel as the last item in Skull Woods. Oh, he might just go get it over with.
Yeah, just get the fetch quests out of the way. Alright, well, it's just a heart container. Not too bad, but not really what they're looking for. Okay, and it looks like Space Cowboy is taking that warp down below Link's house. He might decide to go to Pod. I don't think he's going to check into Swamp, even though he could.
Yeah, that would be a shame, because you need Hookshot to beat Swamp, and we know that Hookshot is locked behind Boots at Flanktuary. Okay, yeah, there you go. He's heading over to the right. He might do Hobo on the way, because you can just take the steps here. You'll see in a moment, Space Cowboy side. You can go down to the water. You can use the mirror. It's a fast way to check the Hobo if you haven't done it already, so you don't have to swim all the way over here. That's gonna work out well for Space Cowboy, because he's gonna get his tempered.
Yeah, that's definitely a good item for him to have. Yeah, also does have the silvers already, which obviously SlimKirby is still missing because they're locked by the mirror. But having Tempered Sword and silvers, and that already makes you feel good for the rest of the seed.
Alright, so there is Space Cowboy's Tempered Sword. He's in decent shape. If he goes in the pod right now, which I believe he's going to, he'll also pick up Boots.
Yep, making the right decisions. Gonna unlock more stuff for him. Hopefully checks the bonk rocks as quickly as SlimKirby did.
So I'm actually curious. We might not see Space Cowboy even visit the Waterfall Ferry, because he's going to get Boots. He's probably going to pick up Hookshot early. So yeah, he might actually get all the items and not have to go there, which will actually be a decent time save for him. I think Space Cowboy is the one who forgot to visit Sahashala. I don't think he realized he skipped it. So we're gonna have to ask him about that later. He's probably gonna be kicking himself, because that could be progression. Like, I've seen Bo be hidden in his closet. Like, you don't want to skip a location that gives you 3 items.
Yeah, if he did forget about it, it was definitely not on purpose.
Oh, SlimKirby also taking a fall.
Yeah, can't fight Trolldorm without falling at least once.
And we'll see Space Cowboy do this dungeon differently because he has the mirror, so he's able to take advantage of those warps.
Yeah, all in all, we get through here much quicker than SlimKirby could, just because of that mirror.
Where were Boots? Were they in the back? Yeah, they were in the back because they were like keys all in the front.
Yeah, the boots are in that one room with the 3 spikes going back and forth, where you have to push the statue to get out at the bottom.
Yeah.
Alright, and as you said, SlimKirby gonna clean up the Light World Death Mountain, and he's gonna be able to check the Hookshot Cave.
I'm really curious if we're gonna find anything good in there.
Yeah, it would, it'd be pretty big for SlimKirby if you could find anything in there.
I mean, given what we know where the items are, there are a number of locations that are open to us. They have Swamp that they get full clear if they all have the required items once they pick it up. Ice Palace they can go do and fully clear. So remember, we're missing either flute or book at this point. It could be in any of those dungeons. If they find anything else, it could unlock other locations. But Hookshot Cave has 4 items, so maybe.
I'd be very surprised. I'd be happy for the runners, but very surprised if they really find the flute or the book anytime soon and are locked in some weird pendant dungeon behind a million other items.
Now, the funny thing is, Mire is not even a consideration because of what's missing. Like, there's any item that gives you access to Mire also gives you access to Desert, which is exactly what they need at this point. That's all they're missing right now, is that access into Desert. Once they have that, they're done. Maybe. Depending on that Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, that could always come back to troll them, definitely.
It's like it's that decision they had earlier where, do I go kill Aghanim? It's like the same thing all over again. Do I put myself into go mode even though the key could be over there? That is... Okay, that's all they needed? Maybe?
In theory, at least, yeah.
The thing is, SlimKirby's gonna keep checking locations even though he just picked up the book. The downside is, it might be a while before Space Cowboy goes up there, since he already visited Death Mountain and did the Super Bunny chest. It's going to be a long time before he has to go back up there. So, SlimKirby has to make his way over to Pyramid to get that mirror. Space Cowboy has to go back up the Hookshot Cave.
Yeah, this is crazy. So, we might indeed see them not having to dip into any of the pendant dungeons. I find that almost unbelievable.
That's unusual. This is almost what someone would call a jet seed.
At this point, I'm really believing in that right side Ganon's Tower.
SlimKirby deciding to keep his magic and use the potion instead. So he has no more safeties at this point. Did he get... I thought we saw Bugnet. Where was Bugnet?
Yeah, I think he did get the Bugnet. I was just gonna say he can at least capture some fairies.
Yeah, we'll have to see their inventory. I don't recall exactly where it was. Oh, it was King's Tomb. Okay, so SlimKirby should have the Bugnet. Space Cowboy will probably go there after this. Alright, so Kirby making his way over to Desert. He got that book. So keep in mind, without Mirror, he can't visit Swamp. He does have Fire Rod, so he can finish Skullwoods at some point. And he can also go do Ice. So we might see those dungeons before he even gets Mirror.
Yeah, it's as I was saying earlier, the progression just keeps opening up for him, so he has no reason to go back and look for anything.
It's really out of the way. It's gonna be... It's a race at this point for when Space Cowboy is gonna go get his book, or SlimKirby's gonna get his mirror. Like, that's what they're racing against. The first one to go mode.
Yep.
And I think both of those locations are out of the way for where they are right now, so it might be a while. This is going to be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, I definitely think, as you just said, that SlimKirby will be finishing up all the crystal dungeons he can finish up before he decides to look for more overworld spots. And Space Cowboy, yeah, I don't know if he'll feel the need to go back up to Hookshot Cave after he grabs his hookshot. The next problem being, he might also decide to do more dungeons before doing more overworld, so he might not immediately check the Bog Rocks. He could be dipping into ice. Maybe finish that up and full clear it.
Yeah, I don't think Slim's gonna get the silvers though, since Mirror will be his go mode item.
Mm-hmm. That's very true, yeah. He's probably not ever gonna check that one mirror spot.
Desert Palace is book or flute, mirror, and Titan's Mitts. Alright, Space Cowboy has finished King Helmasaur. You know, the sad thing is, I don't even think we're gonna see the duck this season. We're gonna see him once. Up on, after killing Aghanim the second time.
Yeah, there's no avoiding him there. Which I always find a little bit strange. Because you never get to use the swag duck in the Dark World, and then suddenly he picks you up.
It's like he finally figures out how to go to the Dark World at the very end of the game.
The lore explanation that I've heard from someone, I sadly don't remember who told me this, but it is that Aghanim's dark powers have subsided after you kill him, so now the swag duck is able to be in the Dark World.
Wow. There's actually a reason.
Right? Sounds pretty reasonable to me. I'm convinced that after you kill Aga, and that is true, you should be able to use the swag duck in the Dark World if you flute, but, you can't have everything.
That would actually be pretty funny if they added, like, the different war points for the duck. So Space Cowboy is going to check the Waterfall Fairy. Keep in mind, he still needs to get his book and his hookshot, because I don't think he saved and quit yet to Sanctuary.
No, and I think with the way he's going, he's probably doing this just before going into Ice Palace, so he's definitely going to full clear that one before he decides to check any more overworld spots. He might be going to pick up his... Nope, he's going right back to Ice. I thought he might be going back to get his blue tunic, but I guess he doesn't really want to waste any time to go back to him the whole way.
Man, so we're seeing a call of Ice Palace on Space Cowboy's side. We'll have to see what SlimKirby decides to do, because that is also open to him, but he could go do Fat Fairy and be rewarded with the mirror.
Yeah, that would definitely put SlimKirby ahead a little bit, I'd say. I mean, he still doesn't have those silvers, so we'll have to see.
So Ice is an interesting one when you're missing hookshot. So the logic assumes you do not do the bomb jump. It's never required in this version of the game. So if that's the case, I think you need a certain distribution of where the big key is and a small key in order to beat this dungeon without hookshot. And there's the big key, so that's one of the requirements. You need big key on the left-hand side. SlimKirby gets Butter Sword from Lammo.
Oh, wow.
That's just going to make things so much faster for him.
Yeah, and he's definitely not going to care as much now about not having the silvers.
That's a required sword upgrade that both of our runners are going to get. So this is Butter Sword all the way.
Yeah, pretty interesting. Butter Sword, but no shields, and maybe only green mail for Space Cowboy until the very end.
Isn't it more like, I can't believe it is butter? Alright, so Space Cowboy is going to do a bomb jump here. It's just all about positioning your sprite in the correct location relative to the bomb. There are diagrams you can see online.
Oh, and we're getting a pedestal check. Oh, that's SlimKirby. Does he not know that he is in pretty much go mode?
But he's missing mirror, so it's a reasonable spot for it, and he wants to get it out of the way so he knows. Now, and it's just 3 bombs.
Yep.
He wanted to make sure it wasn't on the table, so now he knows, okay, I'm just missing this mirror, I gotta find it. Alright, so Space Cowboy, he's in the room right here where you would need hookshot, but there is a bomb jump here that has been recently discovered because of us. Like, this is not anything you'd ever have to do in the actual NMG.
I personally also have no idea about this bomb jump, but geez, very nicely done.
It's actually not too bad. You just have to be in the far corner. Like, that's it. I actually saw an easier setup where you push yourself to the left against the block and just move down as far as possible without falling off. Place the bomb, and you don't even have to move. Like, you just place the bomb. It's sort of like the one in Death Mountain. Place the bomb, you'll get bombed diagonally across the gap.
Oh, that's very interesting.
So it's actually a pretty easy setup, all things considered.
So imagine Space Cowboy finding Cane of Somalia in here. That would be probably a huge relief for him.
Yeah, then he could just breathe a sigh of relief. I think it would be funny if he gets Cane and Quake. Although that would, if he gets Quake, it will probably guide him up towards Death Mountain again.
And hoping that he picks up the hookshot beforehand, it could be good for him.
It's actually fine. We have a mostly empty inventory. Like, you have like the whole middle, it's gonna be missing both canes, and yet they're gonna be in go mode soon. They are 1 item away from go mode.
Yeah, there's not a lot of required items to seed. It's almost at the minimum. Oh, and there's the cane.
So that's really good for Space Cowboy. He doesn't have to worry about Ganon's tower. He doesn't know that yet. Once he gets that hookshot and his book, then be like, okay, I really do have everything.
Yeah, he absolutely doesn't have to worry about anything anymore at this point. The worst that he could pick up now, as you said, is Quake, and even that might be a blessing in disguise for him. Alright, Space Cowboy using one of his red goose to survive the cold stare fight here. Gets quite bullied, and they do a lot of damage if you're only in green mail.
Yeah. Hookshot is the spot that's right next to Sanctuary. I like to call it Flanktuary. Alright, and there is a crystal for Space Cowboy. He's up to 5 crystals. SlimKirby also sitting at 5 crystals.
Yeah, it's very close. I'm really hoping for Space Cowboy here that he's gonna be checking the bonk rocks now, which it looks like he might be doing. And Kirby really needs to finally make his way over to that pyramid.
Yeah, that's true. He might be going for Fat Fairy at this point. There's the bug net for Space Cowboy. He's probably going to go get his hook shot next. The king's net, yes. That's funny. So that's the king, and he's buried with his favorite bug net.
Hey, man, you never know what these guys like. Like in the olden days.
So we're gonna have to see where Space Cowboy decides to head next. He has Hookshot, so that unlocks Swamp for him.
Yeah.
Is he gonna go to Swamp first, or is he gonna go up and visit Hookshot Cave? Looks like he's doing Swamp first.
Yeah, I was gonna say, he's probably gonna do Swamp first. It's a crystal dungeon he can full clear now. That would be my first decision too, probably. Hopefully Death Mountain is his next sub after this. Or he pulls a flute, that would be the best for him.
Oh no, Flute would be horrible though, because they would unlock Mire.
Yeah, but he can't just go to Desert from the flute spot and not care about
Oh, that's
Mire.
true. Right. He can actually beat it. That's a good point. I don't know. We're probably gonna see something like Flute up on the Bob's lamp or something. And there's Mirror for SlimKirby. He is now in go mode because he actually might need Cane.
Oh yeah. Oh man. And he might. Well, that's kind of in an Ice Palace chest that you might check, even if you're not full clearing.
Like, he's checking more chests, so he might be like, okay, these things are on the way. I'm gonna check them just in case they're Cane. He might not play like he's in go mode yet. It looks like he's not.
Yeah, it's probably also a very unusual feeling because, as you said, their inventory is so empty, and they really didn't have to touch any of the pendant dungeons except for the EP, I think, for the Moon Pearl, right?
Yeah. That was the only thing that was there of worth. Oh, I see. He's going to get some potions. Maybe do catfish as well.
Yeah, I mean, might as well. If he's still looking for stuff, he might also still be looking for silvers, even though, as I said earlier, I don't think silverless with Butter Sword should be any problem for him.
Yeah, look at this go mode all. Like, what SlimKirby has is pretty much go mode, minus the Red King, because we don't know if that's needed yet.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's really, I'm at a loss for words.
Wait, what? Where is he going? I think he was going to go to Eastern for a moment.
Yeah, I'm really confused what he's doing.
I think he wants to make his way to Ice. Oh, no, he's buying something. Is he buying bombs? He only has
Probably.
2 bombs.
And yeah, now he's probably going to Ice.
If Slim decides to open up chests while he's in Ice, especially those that are on the way, he's actually going to find the Red Cane, and then he's definitely going to be in go mode.
Yeah, which I would say at the moment kind of puts him at an advantage here.
Looks like Space Cowboy's going to head to the back of Swamp first, and the reason he's doing this is he's also 1 item away. He needs a book or a flute, so if he happens to get it from the boss or from the chests that are down here, he can just leave. Or, well, he can beat the boss and then be done.
Yeah.
Oh, he didn't check? No, he didn't get the big key. So he might not check the items here. He's going to be missing out on the cane.
Oh, okay, well, that's interesting. We'll see if that comes into play later.
So we do have shields.
Finally.
Both of our racers just picked up their fighter shield. Fisher Price shield.
Yep.
Silvers were south of the Grove, which is south of Old Stumpy. It's a mirror spot, and SlimKirby just picked up his mirror. And here's where you could get difficulty setting up the bomb jump. Now, I'm assuming SlimKirby is used to this. Sprite, maybe?
Yeah, I would think so, but we'll see. Everyone gets one try. Okay, there we go.
Spacecowboy trying to silvers Argus, that way it would only take one hit. But it can be tricky to hit him with how he moves.
And I have a feeling he might be going back into this to check the big chest that he just got the key for, and maybe the left side.
Yeah, since he didn't get anything. I mean, really, it's like you said, the best thing that could happen to him is getting that flute.
Yeah,
Alright,
that
so
would
Slim,
really...
Slim passed up on the cane. So, keep this in mind, chat. When you start guessing where you think the big key is, a high number means right-hand side, which means SlimKirby's in trouble. It's not time to guess yet. Just saying, mentally prepare yourselves.
Yeah, it's 5 locations that are cane locked in GT, so it could be.
Book or flute are needed because that gives them access into desert, which is a crystal dungeon. That's why it's the go mode item.
Oh man, and Buttersword Argus Cold Stare, it's just no problem at all.
Cuts like butter. Wait, that doesn't make sense, but there it is. So, Red Cane, which is what SlimKirby just passed up on, was on the left-hand side of Ice Palace. It's the 2 ice golems.
Yeah, now he's gonna head straight to the swamp, and depending on if he's still looking for that Red Cane, he might also opt to full clear it. Meanwhile, Spacecowboy coming up on the last 2 chests here for him. If he's really lucky, one of them is going to be the flute. Otherwise, he is going to continue his searching for an entrance into desert, which is really the only thing he still needs.
So this is going to be a hard call for SlimKirby because if he's in GT and he fully completes it and the big key's on the right hand side, he has a lot of places he's going to have to go back and check.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a gamble for him. Alright, no flute for Spacecowboy. Let's see where he decides to go now.
So for Spacecowboys, from his perspective, he could beat Eastern. I'm not sure if there's an item there. It looks like he's going to Death Mountain. Yeah,
I think he's exactly going to the right spot. He's getting out his hookshot, he's going to Death Mountain, he's going over to the east side. If he warps to the Dark World, I'm 100% sure he will be soon in go mode.
So, I mean, I think this is obviously this is a really good call for Spacecowboy, but from his perspective, there's 4 things that are here, plus I don't think he did Spike Caves, so there's a 5th location for him. So in terms of where he can go that would check the most items at once, Hookshot's a really great location.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's probably, since he already checked in here for the Super Bunny Caves, it'll be the first thing he checks, and then he'll immediately warp over to Desert, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think SlimKirby is going to get into Gannis Tower first, but it's actually going to be really close.
It'll be extremely close.
Desert is a very quick dungeon. Spacecowboy doesn't need anything else, so he's just gonna, quickly clear it.
Yeah, and remember, he is definitely also getting his butter sword, and he has those silvers that SlimKirby is most likely never going to pick up now.
So Space Cowboy just got his book. He's in go mode, but he's checking his chest anyway, probably for some safety. So he only has a green tunic. So let's see if he knows he's in go mode. So that's always a question. We say go mode, but the runner has to realize that they're in go mode. Well, Slim does pick up this chest on the way. It's a very quick check. Might as well check to see if it's Kane.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alright, there goes Space. He's heading over to Desert with his book.
Yep, going as fast as his boots will let him. All he needs is the big key.
I don't remember where the big key was. Was it the center chest? Or was
I
it
don't
on the
remember
right?
either, to be honest.
Yeah, this was an odd seed. Some of the longest dungeons, they're both pendants. The only pendant dungeon you had to go into was Eastern for Moon Pearl. Like, it was unusual. And I do like that Argus drops the big key. I will point out that's one of 2 dungeons where the boss can drop the big key.
Yep.
Alright, everyone. I'll just want to make sure SlimKirby heads up to Death Mountain. Okay, here he goes. So this is time chat, and as I want to point out again, he's missing the cane. So if you want to guess a high number for the big key in Ganon's Tower, that means SlimKirby's gonna have to leave and go find it. So it's that time to get your guesses in. People are already started. Pick a number between 1 and 22 where you think the big key is. 19 and above would be right-hand side. You need Kane because you can actually do... No, sorry, 18 and above because Tile Room is blocked by Kane as well. So 18 and above. I think I'm going to go nice, and I'm going to say it's lucky number 7.
Alright. We'll see if that's true. Spacecowboy also still checking chests here. Interesting.
I think he might be hoping for butter, but he's going to be very happy in a moment. Or hand magic. There you go. Someone did the math. It looks like it's about an 18% chance that they'll need the cane.
It would definitely be super hype if they did need the cane. Not to curse SlimKirby, but I think the chances are pretty slim. Slim. Didn't even do that on purpose.
So I think Space Cowboy is about 2 minutes behind. Keep in mind, he does have silvers, which will be a small advantage on Ganon. So he'll actually save some time. There's Ice Rod. And the big key's number 2! Oh, SlimKirby lucks out. He'll want to pick up a small key first before he goes upstairs because you don't want to be stuck. There's no guarantee the chest upstairs has a small key. So he's going to go get one, and then he's going to go upstairs. He's in really good shape. Kane was not needed. Breathing a sigh of relief.
Yeah, that is definitely huge for SlimKirby. I think at this point, unless something really bad happens to him and he takes a fall or a death again, and it's pretty much his game to lose here.
Space Cowboy getting his 7th crystal. He'll be joining SlimKirby shortly. And I don't see why he would miss the big key, so he should get it very quickly.
Yeah, we'll be just as quick. We also can't forget that silver difference. It's not going to make too much of a difference, but it is a difference nonetheless.
You can see SlimKirby needed more hits against those mimics. So the trick is you want to hold out your sword and basically strafe to the side. Relative to Link's sprite, you want to go right or left while holding out your sword, because that will make the mimic go in that direction, but not face you, which means they won't fire a fireball. Oh, Space Cowboy gets blocked by a Dead Rock, which are the worst enemy in the game.
He is getting super trolled by these 2 Dead Rocks here. Finally gets through. Not before he gets another rock.
Look at that, 5 hearts of damage. Like, he just cleared a dungeon. They're so bad, those enemies.
Yeah, I hate those guys.
No, Space Cowboy does have Butter Sword. He just picked it up at Desert. So, the only advantage Space Cowboy has is those silvers. I don't think it'll make a 2-minute difference. Assuming SlimKirby can silverless, which I'm guessing he can.
Yeah, I think with Butter Sword, silverless shouldn't be too much of a challenge for SlimKirby at all. And as you said, even though Space Cowboy does have those silvers, it's not gonna make up the time difference we're seeing right here.
Ooh, careful. Using dipping in those potions.
Alright, well, a potion is still better than dying here, especially at the end of the gauntlet.
He did buy like 3 potions, so he should be fine.
Yeah, exactly.
I have to say, I'm sad that we didn't get a pea bottle.
Yeah, just red goo all the way through. Alright, let's land Mola's 2 down for SlimKirby. And Space Cowboy picking up the big key right away.
Number 1 for Space Cowboy. Hopefully he also remembers to get his small key before he heads upstairs. It's something that can burn you. There's only 3 chests you can access upstairs, and if none of those have a small key, you're gonna have to come all the way back down to get it.
Yeah, it's not a good feeling. You want to at least have 1 small key before going up there.
Yeah, Slim couldn't do those rooms quickly because he was missing Kane, which is the typical strat for that room. Something else that Space Cowboy should make up a little bit of time.
Yeah, it's really got to feel weird to go up Ganon's tower with the equipment that they currently have, especially Slim, who is also missing the Kane. At least they got the boots, I guess.
It's always weird without Kane or Fire Rod, because you can do this part of the dungeon without Fire Rod.
Oh, and if SlimKirby has bad luck, the last chest won't be a key, and he'll be 1 short, won't he? No, he won't be. He has 1.
No, yeah, he's alright.
I'm bad at counting.
You use a key to get into that room he was just in. That's why it was that 1.
Yeah, there we go.
So many locked doors. Oh no, he takes a fall!
Immediately gets knocked off.
Oh, closing the gap. There he goes. Just 1 fall. Making it exciting. That's all.
Yeah, not too bad. Especially since we're seeing Space Cowboy having a little bit of trouble here with all those trolley enemies in the gauntlet. Oh, needs to be careful here. It's down to 2.5 hearts. I don't think he has bought any potions or any safeties.
Oh no,
Ooh.
that's scary then. That's why he's using fire. I hope he has safety. Like I'm keeping an eye on both sides because this is scary. Space Cowboy sitting at 1.5 heart in Ganon's tower. He has to embrace his inner Oko.
Mm-hmm.
There goes Aghanim for SlimKirby. He's on the Ganon's fight. He has a decent enough lead that as long as he doesn't fall to Ganon, he should be fine.
Yeah, it's definitely Slim's race to lose at this point. Oh, there we go with the red potion. Deciding to wait until after Land Molus too.
Yeah, it's some risky strats there. There's the cane for Space Cowboy, making this part faster. So Buttersword makes very quick work of Ganon. He only needs 6 swings per phase in the first 2 phases.
And SlimKirby shouldn't be having any problems at all here. Already through phase 1, almost through phase 2, I believe. Should be after this, I think.
Ooh, one heart. Playing it safe, yes. He's doing silverless, so you want to make sure you don't die.
Yeah, definitely. You don't want to take a death here. Especially, I mean, of course he doesn't know, but especially with how close these two are.
This is where Ganon's going to have the unhelpful text of, "Did you get silvers in the light world?" So we're seeing a silverless strat from SlimKirby here. You need to just hit him when he's like right at the beginning of his teleport. And even though spins don't do any difference between slashes for Buttersword, it's just easier to set up the timing that way, because that's what we're used to.
Yeah.
No, I can imagine both of our runners right now feeling a little nervous, because they're like, given where the items were, my opponent has to be ahead of me.
Yeah, and they might also be having their IRC up, so they're definitely waiting for the dot down. Alright, SlimKirby edging closer and closer, and there he goes, the last spin. GG to SlimKirby, he will be the winner of this match, grabbing his first win in this tournament.
Wow, nicely done. He finishes with a time of 1:38.40. Just when Space Cowboy's on Aghanim. That's a close one. Like, you could see Space Cowboy's like less than, probably about 2 minutes away at this point.
Yeah, it was insanely close. And it was just one item for both of our runners. 2 different items, but still.
Alright, let's pull SlimKirby in here. Let's ask him how he feels about that cane. Hey, SlimKirby, GG. Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah, GG, and congrats on your win. Oh, we see you lighting up, but there's no sound.
Okay, sorry, I forgot that I've been trying to migrate to push to talk. It's still still trying to get used to that.
So how about going into Ganon's tower without Kane? I bet you were a bit nervous there.
I was nervous the whole seed. I'm sure there were plenty of times where it was obvious. just little things that I just kept blanking on. There was even a time, like in Thieves Town, where I was like, did I blow up the floor?
Yeah.
I don't know. And like, I don't know what it was. Like, I was really ready for this race, and then the nerves just got to me the whole time. But yeah, going into Ganon's Tower was a huge risk without the cane, but I figured, you know, the only way I'm potentially going to win this, because I know Space Cowboy has really, really great execution and really great routing for this particular version of the randomizer, I knew I had to take a gamble, and sure enough, that was the gamble I needed to win, I guess.
So the funny thing is, we know where Kane is. Kane was the Ice Golem room in Ice Palace. So you would have picked it up on the way, and you actually would have gotten it sort of early on if you were continuing to look for items.
Okay, yeah.
So you passed up, and of course the whole time we're like, we have no idea. We're like a little worried for you at them, because it's like, if it's there, you're gonna have so much to check.
Yeah, I know. It was a huge risk, but when I found Mirror on Pyramid, that was essentially go mode for me, and I was like, you know, this is a sign. It's right here. I gotta go for it, because honestly, I was considering full clearing Ice Palace, but once I saw that mirror, I'm like, nope, I gotta go through it. I gotta go in go mode, and that's exactly what I did.
So that's Space Cowboy finishing up now, with his final time of 1:41.21, so about 2.5 minutes away. So
Wow.
Space Cowboy had silvers and of course Kane.
Oh my gosh, where are the silvers?
South of the Grove. So Space Cowboy, once he had access to the Dark World, he did Hype Cave, and then he went north to Pyramid and Catfish first. So he was sitting on Mirror for ages, and we were just wondering when you were going to get there, because it was so out of the way for you. But then you got Bo, or no, I think it was you visiting Fat Fairy that pushed you. We thought you were going to go before Pod, but then you waited till Fat Fairy. But we were worried you were going to do like a full clear of ice instead, looking for that mirror.
Yeah, I was serious, like I said, I was thinking about that, but I don't know, finding the mirror was a sign, so I just went for it.
Yeah, that was a good call. Putting yourself in go mode, it worked out. I mean, someone did the math, it was like an 18% chance you needed that cane. So, but I think that is what you needed to win. If you were still hunting for items, well, maybe. I don't think it would have slowed you down that much. It was a close one, though.
Oh, I'm sure it was, especially if he just finished. Oh my gosh, that was a very, very quick seed. And honestly, I haven't had a run this good since the week of qualifiers, which is how I even got into the main tournament in the first place. So, like, I've been just getting like plus 2 hour runs like nonstop for the last several weeks now. So it was really refreshing to have a seed that was really quick like this. It had a very weird beginning, I found. Just like, I don't know, like I just wasn't used to having that setup of items that early on.
Yeah. Well, hopefully this is a sign, and this goes well for you. You have 2 more races, and you need wins. So.
Yeah, I do. I'm definitely gonna fight my way for the rest of this. That's for sure.
Well, overall, I think it went well. It was good routing, and it was a close race. You both were going back and forth with who was in the lead based on what you had, because like we mentioned, Space Cowboy having mirror, but you also found boots first and hookshot first.
Okay.
And so it's like you had advantages, and we were always wondering when Space Cowboy, because you also had book first. And we were just wondering when was Space Cowboy going to go back up there to get his book. It was a question of him going up there, you going over to Pyramid. You, of course, did the Fat Fairy first, putting you in go mode before Space Cowboy.
Yeah, that line of items I got, which it was basically getting like Fire Rod and then the book. That's kind of what set me in motion, because it's like, okay, that just opened 3 dungeons for me. That opened Ice Palace, that opened Desert, and that allowed me to finish Skull Woods. sure, I might run into the mirror here, so I'll go ahead and finish up these dungeons. And then when I was getting ready for the Ice Palace play, I'm like, well, I do have the Pyramid Fairy still. I have Crystals 5 and 6. I'll check there first, because with those and the Pyramid item and also Catfish, that's 4 items. Technically more than Ice Palace, so that's kind of what set me up there. But yeah, like, things really started to click once I got the Fire Rod and book on Dark Death Mountain.
Yeah. Well, nicely done.
Thank you very much.
That win.
Thank you, thank you.
So I think that's it for me. Did you have any other questions for him, Herfy Durfy?
No, I think you covered most of it. I think you got everything that we were talking about in there.
All right, so make sure you give both of our runners a follow. Let's see if the link works again. They both, did their best for this race. I would say they earned a follow, so go give them a follow. SlimKirby, of course, is going to continue in the race. Space Cowboy, unfortunately, he's out, since you need at least 3 wins. But keep an eye on him, because I know both these guys do plenty of races on their off time.
Definitely.
All right. And I do want to point out that we have another race going in like 5 minutes on Speed Gaming 2. So if you want more Link to the Past, head on over there. That's it for us. So thank you all for watching. I'm Jet082.
Yep, and I'm Herfy Durfy. From me also, thank you, and head over to Speed Gaming 2 to watch the next race. It's going to be Hype 2, and I hope you have a good night.
Good night, all.